Former University of Michigan football coach Sherrone Moore is appearing in court. On Wednesday, as you may know, he was fired as coach, and then shortly after he was arrested. Now we have learned that he's facing 3 charges: home invasion, stalking, and breaking and entering. The university has said that Sherrone was fired for cause after finding out he was engaged in, quote, an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. We are looking at his first court appearance. Let's listen in.
In light of the factual scenario that gives rise to these charges, my best understanding from a thorough review of the police report and as much body-worn camera as I've had an opportunity to review is that I understand that our victim broke up. They had an intimate relationship for a number of years, defendant and victim, that our victim broke up with this defendant on Monday morning early, that there continued to be defendant making numerous phone calls and sending numerous texts from that time moving forward that she did not answer, did not respond to, and did not want. That eventually she presented herself to the University of Michigan, cooperated in some form of investigation there. As we all now know, defendant was at some point on Wednesday afternoon fired from his employment. He then, at some point soon thereafter, came to her apartment in the address that is alleged in the complaint, barged his way into that apartment, immediately then proceeded to a kitchen drawer, grabbed several butter knives and a pair of kitchen scissors, and began to threaten his own life. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to make you watch. My blood is on your hands. You ruined my life. And a series of very, very threatening, intimidating, terrifying, quite frankly, statements and behaviors there in that apartment. It was only then, Your Honor, when the victim, she called her attorney and then at some point indicated she was going to call the police, and then he left. And so, Your Honor, while I understand that there isn't evidence to suggest that he directly threatened the victim with any of those implements that I've indicated, the totality of the behavior is highly threatening and highly intimidating. She was terrorized, Your Honor.
Mr. Moore, could you state your name, please?
Sherrone Moore.
Sir, you are not to use alcohol, marijuana, or any other controlled substance that is not prescribed to you. You are not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You are not to engage in criminal conduct of any kind whatsoever. You may not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. Prior to your release, you will be placed on a GPS tether. You will not be released before that GPS tether is placed upon you. You must continue all mental health treatment as a condition of your bond. The named victim in this case will not be placed on the record. You may not have contact with that individual. That means no calling, no writing, no video chatting, no texting, no emailing, or any other form of contact the human mind can possibly fathom. No one in the world thinks that this person is going to reach out to you. Should they do so, and again, no one thinks that they're going to, you may not reply in any form or fashion. The named victim's address will not be placed on the record, but you may not go to that location for any reason whatsoever. Are we understood on the no contact and no go-to, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have any questions about that, you have a good attorney, simply ask them. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond will be set in the amount of $25,000 cash surety, as requested by the prosecution's office. This court does not determine innocence or guilt. This court determines flight risk and community safety. The court finds with these conditions in place, it has been met. Mr. Simon, we are setting probable cause conference at this time for January 8th due to the holidays and scheduling. Is that a good court date for you?
Your Honor, my client will...
Shaq, you've been covering this for days. We learned a lot in that hearing from the prosecutor. I was summing it up before you came outside. But this is a lot of new information about this relationship that we didn't know before.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it kind of backs up the timeline a little bit. You know, this all started, we were caught wind of this on Wednesday, of course, when we first heard from the university about his firing. But based on what the prosecution was saying, this is something that dates back to Monday, when apparently a relationship between the former coach of Michigan football and an unnamed woman, by design, an unnamed woman broke up. And according to the prosecutor, that's what led to this series of stalking, a lot of text messages and phone calls. And then after apparently she went to the university on Wednesday, that's when he showed up at her house again, according to the prosecutors. Now, the defense in this in that hearing, you mentioned, they said they weren't able to review the police body camera video. They weren't able to review the police report. So we didn't get any response or rebuttal to the facts that were laid out by the prosecutors. I believe actually the attorneys are speaking right now, so we'll see if they have any update or what they're saying in response to the allegations that are being made. But I think the big thing is we know that this did not start on Wednesday. We can even say it really didn't start on Monday, but really it was an extended relationship, a romantic relationship that ended up, in the words of the prosecutors, violently.
Yeah, and to that point, Shaq, I think we heard the defense side say, I wrote down, I have no ability to respond to these representations, because he was just hearing them for the first time, it sounded like. Danny, let me bring you back in and keep Shaq here, too. This is startling. And for this football program and for this university, Shaq, this is a very big story. It's going to affect the future, potentially, of the football program. There are people out there, seniors in high school, who I know you were saying to us this morning, there may be some who won't show up, who won't come to the university because of this. It could affect them pretty gravely.
Without a doubt. I mean, this is one of the most storied football franchises, college football franchises in history. You know, we go back and, we go back to the sign stealing scandal that was talked about. This is a program that has really been dealt its share of hits. And, you know, our team was on campus yesterday talking to students, talking to teachers, and they're really rocked by this. This is a shocking allegation. There was a lot of commentary about the facts that were there, that were laid out before we even heard what the prosecutors had to say. But this is something that's going to continue to ripple out across the university. And then you mentioned the impact this is going to have on the future program. We know that the football team does have that Citrus Bowl game, but this is something that people are going to look at for weeks to come, especially when you talk about prospects. USA Today reporting this morning that there was a high school senior who withdrew his letter of intent to come to the University of Michigan. They were attributing that to his high school coach. So is that the first of many? Is that just one-off there? That is a question that will remain to be seen. But this is definitely shocking. The campus is definitely shocking the Ann Arbor community.
Yeah, and Chuck, I do want to mention quickly that also we heard mention of his mental health and having a mental health evaluation. Yeah. I mean, this is clearly someone who, both these people were in great distress when this all happened on Wednesday. I just want to note that you know, there was mention of suicide in this hearing, and I want to just say, if anyone out there is listening and is having any troubles, the 988 Suicide Lifeline number is always available.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.